Hello fellow modelers, I'm Colin and welcome to part 16 of TamiyaTruckBuilding. First off, something I wanted to share with you. You'll most likely be aware my channel has only been live for a month now, but yesterday I hit 100 subscribers and 2,000 views. I'm chuffed, I have to say. Clearly people are more interested in my modelling skills than my vibrant personality. Anyway, a sincere thank you for your support. If you keep watching, I'll keep building. How's that? Right. Before we get building, an update on my decals for the FH12. Oh dear, as you can see, my attempt to match the background colour hasn't gone to plan. Even with a colour matched workflow, it's come out too light. Not up to my standard, I'm afraid. I think it's important to share build issues with you, then we can learn together. So, what I have done is ordered some clear, transparent, vinyl, self-adhesive glossy photo paper. It's a mouthful, isn't it? And I intend to reprint the decals without the background. As I said earlier in the decals episode, you can use transparent printing paper, but you need to be aware of the foreground colour, that it isn't overly influenced by the background colour. A bit like the clear orange used on the light lenses, you can see through it. So therefore I'll be testing the yellow foreground colour against the blue before I do the final print run, and I'll let you see that in the next episode. Okay, so that's enough from me. Let's get building. In this episode I'm covering off building stages 35 to 37, which is pretty straightforward. It's the fitting of a few external body parts. In stage 35 we're going to be fitting the two side skirts. I have a couple of brackets on the back. Here's the brackets. They only go a certain way round and they loop over a couple of the internal side parts, as you'll see in a minute. They're held on with a couple of 2mm screws, 2 for each bracket. Just do those. Here it's for magnetic screwdrivers. That's it, don't need to be massively tight, the 2mm ones, you'll strip the threads otherwise. And now for the other bracket, just checking the diagram, make sure you get it on the right way round. Because it could be put on the other way round, just as easily. And there we go. 2 brackets done. The power cable and the cable that goes from the speed controller down underneath protrude a little bit and get in the way of where the bracket's going to go. So what I've decided to do is just hold them down and just pop a cable tie on them. Which, sorry you can't quite see what I'm doing, but I'm conscious of that, but it's very difficult sometimes. Just effectively tying a couple of cables together. We just snip that off. The rest of the cables will stay above the bracket. We just loop the bottom bracket into its connector. The metal brackets that come off the main chassis rails aren't particularly accurate, and lining the holes up can be a bit of a fiddle. Colin tip, just use a cocktail stick or something to just get the hole in line and have your screw ready to drop into it. That's the plan. The brackets are quite flexible, so they will move sufficiently to line the holes up without any problem. Front one done, line the back one up. There we go. That's that side skirt fitted. Two screws at the top and the bracket at the bottom. The other wires now will go across the top of the chassis in a little while. Later on we'll do those. Just turning it around now to do the other side. Again, there's the receptacle for the bracket and the two holes that marry up with the two flexible metal stays that come off the sides. Miracle of 4-speed, we'll just razz those up. There you are, that's the side skirts done. The final part of stage 36 will be to fit the two rear mud flaps. There's one of them. Just a bit of a fiddle to get them in place. Once it's in place, there are two long horizontal screws that go through underneath the wheel arch and into tapped holes in the side of the chassis. I have to get down and have a look to find the hole. There we go. That's one. And the other one. Now there is a nut and bolt at the back as well. The bolt goes through a hole in the rear flap and a serrated nut goes on the inside. Just going to have to move the mud flap up slightly so that we can clear the hole. There we go. You can just see the screw poking through now. Not by much. Doesn't want to go through by much as it could foul the tyres. And a spanner to tighten. Same on the other side. Two horizontal screws. And then there will be the nut and bolt through the mud flap at the back. The one at the back also helps to keep the mud flap level, stop it bending down on the outside, stop it flexing too much. Sorry, I'm going to have to do it from this angle, being right-handed. There we go. That completes section 36. Stage 37 is the start of the deck that goes over the motor and the gearbox. Connected to it are the front mud flaps. There are a couple of raised plastic sections where there's holes. Those are where the mud flaps recess into. Handed left and right. What you can do here is put the screws in the holes first and then slide the mud flaps on afterwards, as you will see. Make sure it locates down into the hole. I'm trying my best to do this so you can see what I'm doing, but it's very difficult. Probably if I had a third hand it might help. Or perhaps if I was rich I could have a second camera and a producer and they could swap camera angles. That's one side done. Screws in the other side ready. Panel in place. You can see this side a bit easier. And that's it. That completes section 37. Well, that's it for this episode, YouTubers. Once again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Bye for now.